Hi, I'm Joel Bloom, president of New Jersey Institute of Technology. At NJIT, we believe that not only our students, but all citizens need to be informed about the issues facing higher education. As New Jersey's Science and Technology University, NJIT is proud to support the important programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, TD Bank, the Turrell Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, PSE&G, committed to providing safe, reliable energy now and in the future, the Northward Center, and by the New Jersey Education Association. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Globe. And by Tap Into TV.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this? Here it is, man. Look at it. Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No. People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Welcome to One-on-One. Hey, listen, you don't have to love hockey. You just have to appreciate a good sports team. And right now, we're going to talk to the president of the New Jersey Devils, Jake Reynolds. By the way, let folks know as we're taping here in Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, NJTV Studios. Where are you guys based?
So we're based right here in the heart of Newark.
Right around the corner at
right
the Rock.
Right around the corner.
Now, what'd you say the slogan was?
Rock the Rock. It's going to be an
Rock the
exciting year for the Devils.
Now, let's make it clear. We're taping on the 3rd of October. They open on the 4th. We are not a sports program that looks at X's and O's and analyzes the team in detail. But go ahead, make a prediction.
I think the team is going to surprise some people this year. We have incredible expectations. I think if you go into that locker room, you ask anybody in our organization, we have high hopes not just for this year, but over the course of the next 5 years to build a team that is going to sustainably compete.
You know, I'm curious about this. We were just talking before. There are 11 professional sports teams in the New York, New Jersey market. There's another hockey team that plays across the river at the Garden. I cannot think of their name right now. And one that I think is still on Long Island as of today. How competitive?
We'll leave those be.
Yeah, how competitive?
You know, it's interesting. One of the things that we take a tremendous amount of pride in is being New Jersey's team. We're the only team of those 11 that have New Jersey across our chest. So it is something that we are incredibly passionate about, tapping into the state of New Jersey and representing New Jersey, and especially, as you mentioned, here in Newark.
Yeah, talk about the Jersey sports fan, because for those of us who are New York Giants fans, we're very aware of the fact that they're called the New York Giants. Over in East Rutherford, isn't that funny? Talk about the New Jersey sports fan.
They are so passionate and so loyal, and they care so much. And we've seen some incredible examples of that, obviously starting with this summer. With the NHL draft, the fact that we ended up getting the #1 pick, the response that we have seen from the fan base has been absolutely incredible.
Talk about that draft. Who'd you get out of it, and why does it matter?
So it started at the draft lottery. We were local here. We had about 50 employees.
Whoa, what am I looking at right there? What is that?
That right there.
That's not the draft.
That is the draft party.
No, it's not.
That is the draft party in Championship Plaza. So we had over 9,000 RSVPs.
I thought it was a Bruno Mars concert. Sorry. Seriously, all those people?
9,000 shows the New Jersey fan how passionate, how excited, and how much hope and anticipation there is for this team and the run that we have ahead of us.
Who'd you get?
So
Is it just Jack Hughes?
We got a generational
talent. My
talent.
producer keeps saying, say Jack Hughes. Who's Jack Hughes and why does it matter?
He's just a generational talent that is incredible.
What does that mean? Explain to folks what that means.
So there are special players that come along every once in a while that have the chance to change the direction of an organization. And Jack Hughes is one of those talents.
That young kid?
U.S. born, 18 years old. The amazing thing is, whether you meet him off the ice and you're interviewing, like the amount of composure, the amount of just confidence that he exudes as an 18-year-old is incredible. And then you see him step on the ice and it clicks. And he's calm. He's so skilled.
How old?
18 years old.
Is that impressive?
It is beyond impressive.
How about this other guy with a great personality, PK Subban?
Pretty good personality, incredible hockey player. As good of a hockey player as he is, former Norris Trophy winner in terms of the best defenseman in the NHL, he's just as good of an individual, off the ice.
Talk about his charitable activities. He cares deeply about, quote, we do a series called Making a Difference. He makes a difference.
He absolutely makes a difference. And it's something at the Devils that we're incredibly invested in terms of being able to go out, serve, and drive meaningful change in the community. For our employees, every employee that comes to the Devils commits to serving 76 hours every year in community service. And so we put platforms and programs in place for our employees to go out and serve. And so when you have an individual like PK be able to come in and a player that is that invested and cares that much about the community, it ties it together so nicely. Some of the things that he did during his time in Montreal, in Nashville, within the first 10 minutes of my first interaction with him, he immediately brought up, he has a program called the Blue Line Buddies. And he said,
what is it called?
Blue Line Buddies. So he said, how do we get Blue Line Buddies? Right.
That's
here.
a hockey reference.
It is a hockey reference. So as a defenseman, he protects the blue line.
Still not sure what offside is, because I'm sorry, I'm not a hockey guy. Go ahead.
But for him to be able to care enough to immediately ask, how do we bring that program to help make a difference in the community, I think speaks volumes to the type of individual he is.
Let's do this. I'm curious about a couple other things about this team. So the season tickets, as opposed to, hey, listen, you love when people just go to a game, but how tough is it to sell season tickets? Where are you today, and where do you want and need to be?
It is a time commitment. I mean, it's 41 home games. I think currency, when you look at currency, time is probably the most valuable piece of currency. And so 41 games is a big commitment. But, we go back to the New Jersey sports fan and how incredible they are, how passionate and loyal they are. It's like they want to be there. They want to support this team. And so for us, one of our critical priorities is how do we create the best fan experience in the entire NHL and create the best home ice advantage in the NHL?
How do you do some of those things? This whole fan-first mentality, describe what it means with a couple examples.
For us, it's watching our season ticket members walk into the Prudential Center and it feeling like it's their living room. They walk in. One of my favorite things to do is see some of our season ticket members walk in. They see the guest services members. They go up and they give them a hug because they've built that relationship. It becomes part of who they are, part of their routine. And then you walk into the Arena Bowl and you see this incredible building. You see a 4-story scoreboard that has 30 million pixels, and you feel like you're at a drive-in movie theater. Oftentimes, one of the biggest complaints I get from fans is, I don't know whether to watch the scoreboard because it's so incredible, or to watch what's going on in the ice in front of me because I've got two incredible options there. But it's how do we create the best fan experience in the NHL for our fans to be able to come in and night out and be able to provide that for our team.
Break this down a little bit. By the way, we're talking to Jake Reynolds, president of New Jersey Devils, if you're listening to us on the audio side as well. Help us understand this. The Devils are a part of a larger corporation that also is connected to the Philadelphia 76ers. We actually went down there, Jen, to do a shoot, I believe in Camden, the practice facility of the Sixers, did a whole thing, World Be Free, right?
Yes.
The great player from back in the day, which some of us remember. Question, describe that corporation.
So it's Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment. It's led by our two managing partners, Josh Harris and David Blitzer, who are incredible visionaries, incredible leaders in their own right. They have a tremendous amount of passion for not just sports, but also these communities. So for them to be able to have a platform like this, to be able to drive change in the communities, is something that they love to be able to do. And then we're led by our CEO, Scott O'Neill, as well as our president, Hugh Weber, who was formerly the president of the Prudential Center and the New Jersey Devils. But we own a portfolio of companies in the sports and entertainment space. So our primaries are obviously the Philadelphia 76ers. You have the New Jersey Devils. We have an esports team called Team Dignitas. We have a venture platform called HBSE Ventures, where we go and invest in sports and entertainment technology companies. We have an innovation lab where we bring startup incubator companies in, and we provide them kind of support and office space to be able to grow their businesses.
It's a big corporation. Before I let you go, fascinated by leadership. How complicated it is leading such an important operation, a franchise like the Devils?
I would say it's critically important, and it's an incredible amount of fun. I love it. It's like leadership is something I'm incredibly passionate about. I've been fortunate kind of throughout my career. I've had incredible leaders that have invested in me and given me opportunities and supported me. And for me, it's my obligation to kind of take that and mentor and bring up the next generation of great leaders.
P.S. The Devils are not just a sports team. They are, in fact, a major brand. And we're proud of the Devils right around the corner at The Rock. Rock the Rock?
Rock the Rock.
We'll see what happens. We'll keep posted. Listen, Thank you, Jake. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Steve.
This is One-on-One. We're not at The Rock, but we're at NJTV. We'll be right back right after this.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Steve Adubato. We're coming to you from the NJTV studios in beautiful Newark, New Jersey. It is our pleasure to introduce Joe Della Fave, who is Executive Director, and Maria Lopez-Nuñez, who is Deputy Director, Organizing and Advocacy for a great organization celebrating its 50th anniversary right here in the city of Newark, Ironbound Community Corporation. Congratulations, folks.
Thank you very much, Steve.
ICC, your organization, does what, Joe? We've been doing all kinds of things together as nonprofits, but describe it.
Well, we do essentially two big things. One, we provide direct services to people, early childhood education, family services, job training, et cetera. But we also learned a long time ago that high-quality services that impact individual lives is great, but we also need to address the largest systems that people are living, growing, playing, and working and praying in, the community itself, and the systems, the overall systems that address them. So that's where things come in, like, is your housing affordable? Do you have healthy foods to eat? Is your air clean to breathe, or is it triggering asthma?
Or water issues.
Water issues, obviously, clean water. These are the types of things that people need to grow well.
Maria, let's talk about the urban garden piece of this. This urban gardening piece. Tell me, is it called Down Bottom Farms?
Yes, Down Bottom Farms. I know a lot of people remember Down Neck, another name for the Ironbound.
For those of you not born and raised in Newark, like some of us, we're very fortunate. It always called the Ironbound Down Neck. Go ahead.
And now it's evolved to Down Bottom, so the kids make sure to keep us relevant. So Down Bottom Farms is where we plant the future, right? Because the Ironbound, for those of you that don't know, is the industrial section of Newark. We have the state's largest garbage incinerator. We have a sewage waste treatment plant. And the Passaic River is the longest Superfund site in the country. So, facing all of that, we needed to create something where our community can come together and grow the visions of the future, of a future away from fossil fuels, a future where people are connected to the foods that they eat. And so in the process, we also got this wonderful grant from TD to be able to nurture the farmers of tomorrow, right? So there's Aero Farms, which a lot of people know
Aero
of.
Farm, by the way, check out our website. Aero Farms is an interesting organization. They're one of a kind in the country. Check them out. But go ahead. What does that have to do with Aero Farms? Go ahead.
Aero Farms brought into Ironbound by a collaboration between Ron Bate, RBH, and Ironbound Community Corporation to that site for a low carbon footprint and local jobs.
Yeah.
Aero Farms is fascinating. Check it out. But talk about jobs here. How does this connect to creating jobs?
Well, actually, Aero Farms, our farmers market, when we were first starting up at Down Bottom Farms, we ran a job training program for about 20 young adults who weren't going to go to college, weren't going to go to vocational school. And so we actually utilized the farm, those hoops you see there. We started installing things in what used to be an abandoned parking lot. And the people who graduated from that program were the first employees of Aero Farms. So, that's where the synergy is between the farm and what I think are the jobs of tomorrow.
It's interesting, Joe. You and you've also worked with us on our initiative called Right from the Start, NJ, which deals with the needs of infants and toddlers, and particularly in terms of childcare. But one of the other pieces that you and I talk about is quality of life. What is the connection between everything we're talking about regarding urban farming and quality of life for those in your community?
Sure. So, the children and the families that enter our early learning center every day, we look at that as being, they're not just there for childcare, for early education. They're
or
part of our community,
as a lot of people think.
And it's not babysitting, because that center prepares kids for kindergarten 100% in all ways possible. But what are the other things that affect their lives? Do they know their neighbors? Do they know their community? Do they feel a part of their community? Our family success centers create opportunities for people to come together and unite. Down Bottom Farms is an opportunity for people to come into a farm, not only to learn about farming, and not only for kids to learn that eggs come from chickens, but for people to actually gather together and become a community.
It's interesting. One-on-one doesn't focus largely on social policy questions. That is for our other serious state of affairs and for Think Tank. But there are social equity questions, questions of fairness, questions of how people are being treated. These are big societal questions. Go ahead, Maria.
these are huge societal questions that our young people can answer, right? Our young people are we call it on the front lines of climate change, of police brutality, of gentrification. You know, they're seeing everything as their lives develop. And so when we're at the farm, we get to have those conversations, and then we get to organize our neighbors to come out to hearings, to come out to city council. You know, we're there to grow food, but we're also there to figure out how as a community we can defend ourselves and we can fight back and have self-determination.
Hold on a second. You use the phrase defend ourselves.
Yes,
From
defend
what
ourselves.
and what way, Joe?
Well, I think the first thing a community needs to do is to feel hope in the future. And they can only do that by knowing one another, by taking pride in their own neighborhood, and then thinking about what do they want for their community, not what does someone else want to impose in their community. It's the difference between having an incinerator imposed on you and us coming together, organize Riverfront Park.
Oh,
We
talk
led
real
the
quick, 30
development of
seconds
Riverfront Park.
Riverfront Park, huge. For those of us born and raised in the city, we know how important that is. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I mean, that was a vision of the Ironbound community that was around for 25 years before Mayor Booker and County Executive DiVincenzo embraced it and partnered with us several years ago.
Took a lot of years to get it done.
Well, you know, that's why a community organization that's been around for 50 years is important. You're in the community, you stay with things, you keep pushing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who's in office, they may change, but you keep pushing. And now Mayor Baraka is going to expand it to the entire riverfront. So we have, you know, something that really Newark can be proud of.
You know, it's so interesting. People have used the term community organizers. And sometimes it's a pejorative. We're not here to make political statements, but think about what community organizing is when it comes to this organization, Ironbound Community Corporation, the ICC, celebrating 50 years. Joe, Maria, congratulations.
Well, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
for what you're doing, and God willing, you'll keep doing it.
Well, that's what we intend to do. Appreciate the opportunity
Well
to
done.
be here. Thank you.
I'm Steve Adubato, coming to you from NJTV Studios in Newark, the Agnes Varus NJTV Studios. We'll be right back.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. You can tell we're not in the studio in New Jersey. We're in fact in Vermont, Shelburne, Vermont. Behind us, this is in fact the Shelburne Farms, Coach Barn at Shelburne Farms. We're here for the Turrell Fund Day for Children. And we're honored to be speaking to a whole range of people who have dedicated their professional, in some cases their personal life, to advocating for children, particularly infants and toddlers, as part of our Right from the Start NJ initiative. I'm pleased to welcome Reverend Bill Gannon, retired Reverend at the Episcopal Diocese of Newark and also a Turrell Fund trustee. Good to see you, Bill.
Good to be here.
You know, Bill gave a presentation when you spoke earlier here at this conference. And by the way, we're at a farm. You're going to hear all kinds of sounds around us. All about love. What's the connection between love and our infants and toddlers?
Well, love is the wholesome food for the youngest human beings, babies, age 1 to 3 and up to 5. And as they experience love from parents and relatives and others, they become more of who they will eventually finish becoming.
You know, one of the themes here at this conference focuses a lot on Fred Rogers. Yes. Fred Rogers from PBS, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, debuted in 1968. 51 years later, we're here in Vermont. By the way, we're here in Vermont also because Vermont has a track record of really doing important work when it comes to early childhood-related issues, child care issues, early childhood development. They're seen as a national model by many. Make the connection between Fred Rogers and the work that he did and his incredible impact on young children in this nation.
Well, Fred Rogers is very important, partly as a representative of how you connect with young people. He, in some ways, had a genius for being simple and for treating the young people that he communicated with on their terms rather than requiring them to treat him on his terms. And I would say that his work was greatly multiplied by both those who were watching back when he was on television, as well as the whole educational system, daycare, schools, anybody professionally interested in education must have admired how he conducted himself with young people.
You know, I'm curious about this. This is not a discussion about politics per se, but it is a discussion about where we are in society. So I'm curious, as a trustee of the Turrell Fund, you and your colleagues at the fund committed very much to children and also a more civil, dare I say, society. So if Fred Rogers talked and lived his life about love and simplistic or simple things like caring for your neighbor, how would that sell today in the America we live in?
Well, I don't think it's a selling matter. It's a witnessing matter. That would be the biblical term for understanding how you declare who you are, what you love, and where you're going. And
you don't have to sell love?
No. In fact, you can't sell love. The only thing you can do is love. And when you love, love is being, it becomes an opportunity for whomever you're expressing love for.
So when it comes to infants and toddlers, as part of our Right from the Start initiative, do you teach love to infants and toddlers by expressing and giving love?
You teach love by treating them as they are. And let me say that our society is hugely built around the supposed efforts for success, and financially and elsewise. And that is a false aim of education. Education should be nurturing who you are and what you love. And that should be true not only for wee ones and adolescents, especially adolescents, but also in adult life. The matter of what you are in terms of who and what you love is really at the heart of life. And you rediscover this as a parent. When you have children, you're going through again what you went through as a child and rediscovering some of those aspects of life that you may have overlooked. I've often thought that a challenge to adulthood is whether or not you maintain awareness of the child that is in you. And if you do, then you're going to love play, whether it's sports, which is defined by the word play, whether it's the arts, whether it's human relations. But the child in you delights in beauty, delights in community. And I would also say that I believe that we are at a point nationally and probably internationally where community has come to mean less and less, being raised by the village, so to speak.
But we need it more and more.
And we need it more and more, exactly. Yeah.
Well, listen, Reverend, I want to thank you for not just for being with us here in Vermont, being part of the Turrell Fund, but also, more importantly, the work that you've done for more than a few years, making a difference in the lives of so many, mostly because of not the love that you teach, but the love that you live.
Right.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, TD Bank, the Turrell Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, NJIT, PSC&G, the North Ward Center, and by the New Jersey Education Association. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Globe and by Tap Into TV. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
I think at NJIT there are a lot of smart students.
I came to NJIT for mechanical engineering because within state, it's one of probably the top 3 schools for engineering.
It sort of creates a friendly competition where you can learn from them.
It's a great academic school.
I feel I'm being challenged, but at the same time, I love the classes I'm taking.
The atmosphere of being here is like being at an upstart company. It's that same kind of drive, that same kind of passion.